You will get 2 minutes on the clock and your time starts now. All right, time is up and let's have a look here. Whoa, let's go back a bit. Here we are. So first thing first, this poor girl, that really sucks. This is most likely going to be anovulatory cycles due to the immaturity of the hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis. This is a girl who is still close enough to menarche that she hasn't actually got this axis in swing, and so she's probably having these irregular periods, heavy periods due to this. Of course, she is still of reproductive age, and so we have to also consider miscarriage, ectopic pregnancy, or gestational trophoblastic disease. If you're putting any of those kinds of things in there, you're going to also get some good marks. Even though there is normal coagulation profile, we can't actually exclude coagulopathy without further studies, and so that would still be a accepted response. And while it would be pretty atypical, particularly for this age group, we can't definitively exclude polycystic ovarian disorder or gynecological infection and or trauma, which would obviously be raising other questions in a patient in this demographic. Coming in here, we have normal menorrhagia of puberty. Yep, fantastic. I think that would be conveying the same thing as I've got as the first response there in a much more succinct way, and I think you'd be getting full marks for that one there. Excellent. Now, again, this is something that you may or may not feel as confident as you want to be in, and so the Royal Children's Hospital actually has a really awesome write-up on how to manage these kinds of patients, what investigations are warranted, and of course, what investigations are not warranted. We've got another question coming up, so let's get 2 minutes on the clock, and your time starts now. All right, time is up, and let's have a look at the answers. So, again, this really sucks for this girl. There's lots of things we can do to improve this situation, and one of the first things I'd be noting here, one of my kind of priorities, is the fact that we've got someone who's mildly tachycardic, and look at those iron stores. She needs iron. In this case, you would consider oral. I think you'd also be pretty justified in saying, look, we're quite symptomatic here. A iron infusion could also be justified. Excuse my dogs in the background. You can hear them barking. There they are. That's my dog Pepper. Greyhound. Love them. They told us that greyhounds don't bark. They lied. Okay, so iron infusion I think would be suitable. And again, we're specifying here to address iron deficiency anemia. In this setting, we're saying why we're giving things as well. Of course, we also need to address the flow itself, so consider tranexamic acid during menses to decrease menstrual flow, and tied into that as well, consider oral contraceptive pill or oral progesterone to regulate menstrual cycles. You could also discuss the expectations of regularization over time, so that reassurance that at this stage in time we would expect the cycle to end up self-regulating, but that is something that may take months to years, and so I'd be doing all these other things alongside that. And of course, for a patient who's already tachycardic and anemic, I'd also be discussing the red flag events or triggers for emergency department attendance. Even though they're saying they don't want to attend now, I'd be making sure we've got that safety net in place to follow up so that if things don't go according to plan, they know what to do. Alright, so I'm intentionally trying to keep it a little bit brief tonight because I'm mindful you need sleep as well. Let's get 2 minutes on the clock for the final case for tonight, final question for tonight. Your time starts now. Alright, time is up and let's have a look at some answers. And while some people may find this a bit of a challenging question, I've intentionally checked through everything to make sure that this is going to be applicable to every Australian state and territory. I took a little bit of research. Some really important things here is that in this circumstance, the law is very clear. Any sexual activity would be illegal, and that as a medical professional, you are a mandatory reporter for any sexual contact or abuse. Really important that you would have to specify these things. This can be tricky because you also don't want to lose engagement with that patient. If they do go on, you don't want to have them not be willing to seek medical attention for fear of that. And so I would also take that same opportunity to say, look, regardless of anything else that happens, here are things you need to know if you are thinking of becoming sexually active with anyone. The importance of STI screening, and I've caught myself out there because we should not use the term STI. We need to spell that out as sexually transmitted infection to establish a baseline, or tied into that as well, ensure that, I've said neither partner, that should be, ensure that neither partner or either partner has any pre-existing sexually transmitted infections. Get testing done to see if there is risk there. Educate on barrier protection methods. To recommend vaccination against HPV. I've caught myself on another abbreviation. Oh no, I've done it to myself. Hepatitis B, if not already received, I'd be checking their medical records for that. Encourage Emily to discuss sexually transmitted disease testing or prevention openly with any partners to ensure mutual understanding and commitment to safe practices. And of course, provide information about emergency contraception as well as contraceptive methods for pregnancy prevention alongside condoms, so in combination. Coming in from the chat here is definitely excellent points for number 1, spot on. I am mindful that these laws do vary state to state, and so you do need to check your state-specific things. In this case here, yes, that is 100% correct no matter where you are. 2, also talking about consent is fantastic. Not on here, but mate, 100% marks there. 3, I think 3 would probably overlap a little bit much with 2, and so I would encourage you to diversify those responses a little bit more. The disclosure, ties into you being a mandatory reporter, and condom use, fantastic. So again, education around safe sex practices. I'm probably going to have this video flagged now, I've just realised. Oh well, worth it. This is something that is fair game for the exam, is something that you need to know. Regardless of where you practice, you need to know your mandatory reporting obligations and what conditions would fall into this category.